With the boat show, we are in Perengue sul Garda, a town located in the northern part of Italy, where we will visit a very important Italian design studio. A sailor is unlikely to never have sailed on a boat that was designed by this studio, or at least where this studio has collaborated on the construction. That company is FELCI Yacht Design, which was founded in 2001 by Umberto Felci, Lorenzo Giovanozzi and Elder Cortinovis. A multifaceted activity involving the design of prototypes to participate in regattas and collaborating with large shipyards such as Cantieri del Pardo and Dufour. A large part of the Dufour range was designed by the studio Felci. They also worked with ice yachts with their most recent and important boats, its 60 and 70 footers. The lake represents what is basically my background. I started sailing on the lake when I was very young. At first with my brother on the 420 dinghies, so I have lots of memories that take me back there. I decided to start my business on the lake precisely because there was a fair amount of activities linked to shipbuilding, and I wanted to create a strong connection with the shipyards that developed my very first projects.
Mi piaceva essere in stretto contatto con I primi cantieri che hanno realizzato I primi miei progetti.
The ability to collaborate directly and follow the construction was a very important thing. So the lake provided a very synergistic environment.
Molto sinergico.
The Centomilia has represented, especially in the past, an important step. My third project, Bravissima, was the first boat that won the Centomilia regatta, and I also had an opportunity to steer it. It was an innovative yet very different boat that truly showed some incredible features. Even today, Bravissima still wins. Then the Centomilia was won by many of my boats. The Clandestine, which is our open-class model, I think has won it 5 or 6 times.
Progettare una barca in fondo ancora oggi è una cosa molto complessa.
Designing a boat is still a very difficult thing to do. You have to put together a lot of know-how from a practical point of view. That is, you have to really know what you're doing. You have to be familiar with the boat. It is necessary that you will know all the deck equipment, which works also as an advantage.
È una condizione che è necessaria.
Then there is also a scientific expertise that you must have, because being a sailor is not enough to design a boat. Obviously, knowing how to build them is very important, because this leads you to design them better.
Progettare meglio. E poi,
last but not least, beauty is another element that is necessary.
Un altro elemento che va insieme.
You studied architecture. Do you think this gives you an advantage? Is it useful for this type of job?
Guarda, direi che alla fine dei conti sicuramente è stato una fase molto importante. Me ne rendo conto adesso.
Well, I'd say that it's very important. More than in my past, I now realize that knowing how to manage a whole project, meaning the technical and formal aspects, the humanistic ones, such as the relationship with customers, is something that springs so much from the approach and, above all, from the study method learned.
Che scaturisce tantissimo dall'approccio, proprio dal metodo di studio che si impara in una.
Well, it is the culture of the project.
La cultura del progetto, del far bene.
Yes, exactly. The desire to do something nice, of building in the proper way in every detail. It takes technical and scientific competence, but the artistic value of what you do is important as well. My family has had an artistic background for generations. In certain moments, it probably shines through because there is certainty and willingness of doing something well done, perhaps even a little bit of the unconscious ability to be able to create something that people like. This cannot be taken for granted. After all, it's not something that can be studied.
Non è scontato, in fondo non si può studiare.
What do people like? What do they look for in your boat?
Guarda, io penso che
I think that many are fascinated by our little team. Basically, we are a very close-knit group, which incorporates different skills. Because my partner is an aeronautical engineer, Guglielmo is an engineer, Gabrielle is an architect, and Giulia is also an engineer, so we also contribute in our own way.
Un piccolo tassello, un aspetto.
Un ingegnere
An aeronautical engineer and an architect, it seems like a perfect match for designing boats.
Ma diciamo che è una binata che effettivamente penso che sia stata abbastanza.
Let's say it's a combination that I actually think has been quite successful. We complement each other a lot. There's a lot of mutual respect and friendship. So yes, I think that has a lot of impact on our projects. Each new project needs its balance, because in order to move forward and raise the bar, there is always a need to put something more at stake. So we always try to welcome new ideas and also provocations.
Mettere qualcosa di più sul tavolo, e quindi su uno dei piatti della bilancia vengono messe le nuove idee, le nuove.
And for this, I have to give a lot of credit to Umberto, who is always very dynamic and always manages to create new challenges.
Molto dinamico e riesce sempre a dare nuovi stimoli.
Cioè, io ho l'impressione che nella nautica però i cantieri spesso
I
ricercano.
feel that in boating, shipyards often look for designers who don't know the product, in the hope that they will bring new ideas. And I'm quite against that. The boat itself is a precise thing. It's a complex world to put your hands on.
Un mondo complesso dove metter mano.
Sono d'accordo. Sono due atteggiamenti in fondo, no? Il tradizionalista che immagina che la barca a vela deve avere il carteggio.
I agree, there are two outlooks. The traditionalist, who imagines that on a sailing boat the charting table must be on the starboard, and then the innovative outlook. That is someone who says, no, that's not enough. We've gotten bored with these things. Now we want something new. Although I clearly think that the boat must have essential technical features, meaning a sailboat must be perfect navigating, close-hauled at 20 knots. If that's not the case, then it's not a sailboat. There are no excuses. Yet to achieve that result, there are many possible ways, and I can't avoid looking at what others are doing. I have to take into account where the world of design is heading in terms of shapes and what people want too.
Nella nostra stanza virtuale.
In our virtual room, we are able to work just like car designers do, at their same level of formal detail. It wasn't like this in the past.
Quali sono i campi dove
What are the areas where greater progress can be made in boating? Where is the exploration and research perhaps still incomplete?
Ma diciamo che la nostra fortuna è di fare un progetto a 360.
Let's say that our luck is to make a 360-degree project, and therefore there are different areas in which we are engaged.
Allora sicuramente gli strumenti, i nuovi strumenti che abbiamo a disposizione ci permettono.
Certainly, the new tools that we have at our disposal allow us to analyse and explore forms and ideas that, until a few years ago, could only remain hypotheses.
Potevano solo rimanere delle ipotesi. Quindi diciamo
So
che
ideas always
le idee
come from
arrivano
people,
sempre dalle
but the
persone.
new tools allow us to have that confidence to make sure that we go in certain directions, where up to some time ago we could not go.
Si possa andare in certe direzioni dove qualche tempo fa non ci si poteva spingere.
Umberto, tell us your secret. What is your ideal boat? The one you build for yourself.
Allora, prima cosa deve essere una barca a vela, perché in questo momento in particolare il fatto che la barca a vela sia il vero mezzo
So the first thing is that it has to be a sailboat, because right now a sailboat is the only real hybrid vehicle we have available, which is what definitely leads me in that direction. The size has to be fairly generous. I would say between 55 and 65 feet is what feels right to me, because I'm a bit claustrophobic and I like large spaces. So a few fairly large cabins, a few fairly large bathrooms, so that I can live a relaxed life aboard while sailing safely and quickly. These are the concepts that are summed up in our projects, and that I would like to be able to live it a bit more.
che si riassumono in un nostro progetto e che mi piacerebbe poter vivere un po' di più.
Secondo me la barca a vela è la sintesi del concetto di equilibrio.
In my opinion, the sailboat is the synthesis of the concept of balance between performance and safety, between aesthetics and habitability, between lightness and sturdiness. Every time you must combine these factors, and we do so every day with great rigor.
E quello che noi facciamo quotidianamente è metterli insieme con una grande rigorosità. È un lavoro che si vede poco, è un lavoro di cui si vedono gli
It's a
effetti.
job that is hardly seen, yet you only see the effects of it. That is when a boat is tested and the qualities of balance, ease of use, but also speed, performance, etc. are praised, and it's all the result of a great job which starts from the shapes of the hull, to the profiles used in the fins, to the side surfaces of the appendage, the reductions in bulb strength.
Ai profili utilizzati nelle pinne, alle superfici laterali delle appendici in genere, le riduzioni di resistenza dei bulbi.
And all of this, let's say dirty work, is the part that no one sees, but which then makes the differences in regard to the sailboat itself.
La vera prestazione non è la punta di velocità, ma è la
Real performance is not top speed, but the confidence that one must have in one's own boat in being able to handle complex situations. This is a great peculiarity that is constantly sought in our work.
Peculiarità che viene ricercata costantemente nel nostro lavoro.
In questi anni abbiamo lavorato con tanti brand, tanti cantieri importanti. Abbiamo cominciato con
Over the years, we have worked with many brands and many important shipyards. We started many years ago with Cantiere del Pardo. We developed the first Grand Soleil 70 Custom and then a series of boats for the shipyard. Then we worked for Dufour. We began in 2002 by creating the Performance and Grand Large ranges. We started with the famous Dufour 40 and we are still collaborating with them.
Il famoso Dufour 40 nel 2002 e stiamo ancora collaborando con loro. Per Dufour abbiamo dovuto cercare.
As for the design we did for Dufour, we had to try to collaborate in the creation with such an important brand, because in the end, our product design obviously has an important impact on what the shipyard stands for. So, for example, the idea of introducing a very strong family feeling between one model and another was something that was quite innovative in 2002-2003, and it seemed a very natural thing to us. And it's something that all the other shipyards started to do as well, but several years later.
Anche tutti gli altri parecchi anni dopo.
With other major shipyards, for example ice yachts, we have also carried on with our approach to design. For ICE, with whom we have been collaborating since the beginning, we have developed many successful models. We are talking about the 52, the 60, models that have been built in a variety of examples, to then reach up to the flagship, which is the 70-footer. All these boats have a crossline that makes them recognizable. This is the result of deliberate work that tries to give continuity to work related to the brand. It is a different approach than the one we have taken with other shipyards for which we have created unique projects, such as the 65 for Persico Marine, or the projects made for Adria Sail that are completely custom-made for the customer.
Quando in Dufour Yacht ci hanno chiesto di mettere la plancia barbecue a poppa, ci siamo guardati come se
When we were asked by Dufour Yachts to put the BBQ Bridge in the stern, we looked at each other thinking it was an insane idea. But of course, we did what they asked of us. So we tried to introduce the BBQ Bridge in the best possible way, and that would cause as little discomfort as possible. The result has been amazing because the sales were a crazy success. And every time I go on a cruise with a Dufour, I realise why. From morning to night, you can cook yourself whatever you want. Pancakes in the morning, chicken on the spit in the evening. So it's actually a very simple thing that, although costs a few €100 more, makes a better use of the boat. It's much more friendly and allows you to experience a much better cruise.
Molto più friendly e ti permette di vivere una crociera molto meglio. È molto importante usarle le barche, andare in crociera, io tutti gli anni vado in crociera.
It is very important to use the boats and go on cruises. I go cruising every year. I try the boats one after the other with the family. It is a way to experience the sea, and therefore it is a continuous growth within one's own design.